Can we make a contribution to Nigerian people?
I want all of now look into the comes of Nigeria when we want to take steps every day to make this country a better place.
Higher education is telling them it's time to change.
All colors, shades, angles, and perspectives can be overwhelming in our present world of information overload. This is introducing Ground Zero. Ground Zero is a current affairs discussion phone-in program covering topical issues in the polity. The program is a platform for an in-depth analysis of trending issues by professionals, authorities in various fields, analysts, and key actors in the polity. Ground Zero gives the listener an opportunity to contribute to the discussion via phone call, SMS, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. From the conservatively serious to the ridiculously funny, Ground Zero accommodates them all. Professionals, urban contemporary businessmen and women, policymakers, public service workers, students, artisans, traders, and the in-between. Ground Zero comes up on Tuesdays from 5 to 6 p.m. and Saturdays 4 to 5 p.m. Ground Zero. This program is exclusive to Invicta 98.9 FM. Tune in.
It's another lovely Tuesday evening right here in the Croc City of Kaduna, and it's time for the Never Dull Moment program on radio, Ground Zero. Ground Zero is a program on Invicta FM where we talk about topical issues in the polity. We bring in experts and analysts and you, the listener, so we can all talk about these items. And I can tell you that this is the last edition of Ground Zero for the year 2020. Initially, I had intended that we do a review of the year, but with these very hot and trending issues that are coming up, we need to look at them. And the fact that some of the resource persons that I want to feature are presently not in town, so we want to push the review of 2020 to on Saturday, which is going to be the first edition of Ground Zero for next year. So sit back, relax today as we talk about these very, very important things on Ground Zero this lovely evening. Now, let's look at some of the snippets before you get to meet my guest, and we take it from there. I'm sure it's no longer news to so many people that that the statement made by Bill Gates is causing a whole lot of stress, tension, anger, annoyance amongst Nigerians and Africans, where Bill Gates is saying that they didn't understand why COVID-19 numbers are not high in Africa. Were they expecting it to be high? We'll get to know in the course of the program. Also, reaction is trailing Bishop Kuka's criticism of Buhari at his Christmas Day sermon. These are the two major things that we'll be looking at, because if you check online, offline, and even on the street, these are the things that most people are talking about. And on Ground Zero, it's a tradition for us to bring what people are talking about, bring it on air, and let's talk about them properly with analysts in the house. My guest on the program today, I have two of them. One is a veteran journalist and media strategist in the person of Eddie Ochigbo. Eddie Ochigbo, you are welcome to Ground Zero.
Thank you very much. His compliments of the season to the listening public, and wishing you a prosperous new year.
Okay. The other guest is an activist in the person of Bako Abdul Usman. He is the president of Campaign for Democracy. Bako Abdul Usman, you are welcome to Ground Zero.
It's always my pleasure. Good evening to the listening public, and happy holidays.
All right. And for you, the listener, you can be a part of the program by going to our various social media handles. First, you can go to the Invicta FM Facebook page at Invicta FM Kaduna, where the post in respect of the program is up. All you need to do is add your voice to the conversation so that we can get to use it in the course of this program. You can also go to the Ground Zero Twitter handle at Ground0247. Ground0247. That's the Twitter handle of Ground Zero. Go there and add your voice and let's get talking. And for those that would want to watch us live, you can also go to the Invicta FM Facebook account. That's Invicta FM Kaduna, and also watch the video of what we are doing right now in the studio. And of course, you can also watch details of it if you missed part of it on our YouTube handle much later in the day. So, without taking so much time, let's look at some details and background on the issues we want to discuss today, so that for those that are just getting to know about it afresh, you can also have a hang of what we are talking about. Starting from the first one, coming from Bill Gates, who will say that we don't understand why COVID-19 numbers aren't as high in Africa. Bill Gates, a co-chair of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, says the world still does not have enough data to understand why COVID-19 numbers have not been as high as predicted in Africa. The American philanthropist who invests heavily in healthcare in Africa said he is, however, happy to have been wrong about COVID-19 rates in Africa. Bill had warned early in 2020 that Africa could be the worst hit by COVID-19, stating at a conference that the virus would overwhelm health system in the world's poorest continent. Melinda Gates, his wife, also a co-chair of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, said the developing world will be hard hit. She added that she foresees bodies lying around in the streets of African countries, but this has not been the case, and the world does not understand. You can understand the background of where they are coming from, believing and thinking that Africa will be worse hit.
The dark continent.
The dark continent will be worse hit. Corpses will be lying and strewn all over the streets as a result of COVID-19 infection, and that has not happened. And Bill said he's happy that his prediction did not happen. But most people are saying that, is he really happy?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Well, we'll get to talk about that. All right, let's quickly look at the second item that we'll be looking at on the program today, which is the controversy generated by the Christmas message of the Catholic Bishop of Sokoto State, Bishop Matthew Hassan Kuka, in which he criticized President Muhammadu Buhari, generated more reactions yesterday as groups and a presidential aide weighed in. While the presidential special assistant on social media, Loretta Onuche, the Arewa Youth Consultative Forum, and the Muslim Rights Concern, Murik, knocked Kuka, the Catholic Church in Nigeria, the Southern and Middle Belt Leaders Forum, and the Christian Association of Nigeria defended him. Kuka, in the Christmas message last Friday, had accused the president of turning nepotism into a state policy. He had said that there would have been a coup if a non-northern Muslim president had done a fraction of what Buhari did. He accused the president of institutionalizing northern hegemony by reducing others in public life to second-class status. However, the federal government fired back a day later, that's on Saturday, saying it is graceless and impious for a religious leader to use the period of the Christmas, which is a season of peace, to stoke the embers of hatred, sectarian strife, and national disunity. Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, in a statement that was an allusion to Kuka's criticism of the president, warned religious leaders that resorting to scorching earth rhetorics at this time could trigger unintended consequences. Okay, and Kuka came under more attacks yesterday as Loretta Onuche accused the bishop of being critical of Buhari due to loss of patronage. The presidential aide tweeted, and also in a reaction, the Arewa Youth Consultative Forum called for the arrest and prosecution of Kuka over his Christmas message. And still going down, the Muslim Rights Concern also faulted Kuka for criticizing Buhari. The group described Kuka's claim of nepotism in Buhari's administration as false. And if you still go down where we now have the Catholic Church backs Kuka, however, the leadership of the Catholic Church in Nigeria, CAN, and the South and Middle Belt Leaders Forum rose to the defense of Kuka, accusing his critics of mischief. The Catholic Church, in a statement by its National Directorate of Social Communication of the Catholic Secretariat of Nigeria in Abuja, urged lovers of truth and justice to defend Kuka against the attack on his person and the attempt to discredit his message. The church said the situation in Nigeria no longer allows anyone to sit on the fence or to show indifference. Okay, and the Christian Association of Nigeria accuses federal government, MURIC, others, Muslim Rights Concern, of twisting Kuka's Christmas message. The Christian Association of Nigeria also dismissed the allegation that Kuka called for a coup in his Christmas message and made any expression suggesting an affront to Islam. The association accused the federal government and Akin Tola of twisting Kuka's message, stressing that it is injurious to the development of the country. Khan, in a statement by his vice chairman in charge of the 19 northern states and Abuja, Reverend John Hayab, yesterday described Akinola's earlier statement on Kuka's message as misleading. He called on the international community to counsel Akinola on the need to take the path of honor in matters of national importance. Okay, these basically the general take of it. And if you still go down, the Southern and Middle Belt Leaders Forum has expressed its support for the Catholic Bishop of Sokoto Diocese, Bishop Matthew Hassan Kuka, on the state of the nation. The group, in a statement by its leader Yinka Odumakin, Southwest, Chief Guy Ikoko, Southeast, and Senator Basi Henshaw, South, and Dr. Isu Adogo, Middle Belt, condemned the reaction of the federal government. And that would be that for now. It's quite lengthy, but we have basically covered all the angles and all the aspects. But first, let's start from the happiness, surprise, or reaction of Bill Gates on the fact that COVID-19 did not hit Africa as they had expected or anticipated. Now, generally, I'll start from Eddie Ochid, but generally, how does this statement vibe with you?
Thank you very much, Ahis. I think that statement, to me, is very, very curious, especially against the backdrop of some conspiracy theory about the involvement of the Bill Gates Foundation.
Bill and Melinda Gates
Foundation, in linking it to some kind of historical facts that say, okay, it's going to be better for them to create some kind of health challenges that will lead to vaccination, and then reset their, rich, wealthy economic kingdom, and so on and so forth. But I come to think of it, I wonder why such a statement could come if there were no any underlying, plans, that perhaps that Africa should be worse hit, given the prediction of the wife and other people who believe in that school, But it's the dark continent, so to say, as the Europe will describe us, that time. It sometimes it comes under the radar of the Almighty God. Sometimes it will not. It will disappoint. Human predictions and prophecies. Yeah. Based on the fact that Africa, as a dark continent, which they have called all these things, they have some kind of immunity. They have some kind of shock absorbers. They have that which, maybe you are growing up somewhere in one rural village, you drink water, the river is flowing, but the water is colored, and you drink it. and nothing happens to you. So there have been some kind of immunity, being built in the black continent called Africa, because God has a way of just protecting them. So that is why it has defied the predictions and prophecies of the likes of Bill Gates, who may even want people to die on the streets around this, which I think should not be the case. He should have said, if I were Bill Gates, I would have said that, rather than say I be surprised that you should have said, thank God, that damage was not done to the continent of Africa.
Okay.
Rather than expressing a surprise, which means he had a plan that did not work, and it's very, very, he's trying to prove that conspiracy theory against him.
Yeah.
That perhaps he has hand in vaccination and all the theories that you have heard.
Okay.
We want to go into that detail. No, but that his statement was quite premature and unwise.
All right. Let me come to Bako Abdul Osman now, and also this whole thing coming from Bill and Melinda Gates. How does it resonate with you?
Yes, for me, I look at it going back into history, where the likes of the Bill Gates father himself was a parent. It was a member of Parenthood, Planned Parenthood in the U.S. then.
Okay.
So when I try to put that into perspective, I look at it as okay. Maybe the reduction into childbirth is what Bill Gates is trying to really advocate for, and but in a disguise that he is coming as a philanthropist to assist the poor of the poorest in Africa. But or if not so, I don't look at him saying yes, he see a lot of deaths and blood raining in the black in the black continent, on earth. So for me, I look at it to be on that angle. And again, if you look critically, I was privileged to listen to a program on Liberty Radio where somebody highly placed within the security apparatus accused him, Bill Gates, of having a drone that is linked, that is linking up some highly placed insurgency in Africa. So when you corrugate all those together, you put them into perspective, you agree with me that there is a notion into his statements and issues of cleansing Africa are some of the motive for me. That is the angle I'm looking at it too.
Okay.
Yeah.
In addition to that, because Abdul has put it in proper perspective, you remember the bill about vaccination that is still there in the National Assembly?
Yeah.
That's compulsory vaccination, or something which has raised us. I think it's in the second reading process. I don't know. And linking it with the fact now that because they linked it that Bill Gates, there was allegations that he brought some money around and people shared money and so forth. So allegations. So now when I look at all this, I say, is this a very to place? But I think the right thing to do is to encourage the people to take this vaccination, because I know that irrespective of conspiracy theories and so on and so forth, that vaccination has passed through science, and we are science. I mean, science shouldn't lie. It's not a spiritual issue. Passed through scientific process, so it should fly.
Okay. Looking at all the great and wonderful things that Bill Gates has been doing all of these years and all of that, do you believe that Bill Gates would want to harbor any ill feelings towards the dark continent, as they call it, or Africa?
I think he should be the last person, if under normal circumstances, he should be the last person to do that. Because if you see his investment in trying to alleviate poverty across the African continent, it's in billions of dollars. So it shouldn't be so. But there is this conspiracy theory that is there, that sometimes for him to even do anything is to depopulate the world population, so that the economy can reset.
No, Eddie, I want to look at it from a different perspective. If he's someone that does his business based on numbers, because the more the population, the more money he would make.
So he should depopulate, or what?
So what I'm saying is that he does not have any reason to want to depopulate the world, whether dark continent or white continent. Abdul,
yes,
I don't know if you share this same thought.
Yeah, I share the same thought with you, but there is one thing when it comes to new world order.
Yeah,
you try to X-ray and put things into the way things are supposed to be.
Yeah,
because the new world order today is saying that yes, the African population is rising fully, and they are against that population, and to reject this population growth, the only thing is to bring in things that are like war, insurgency, what we are experiencing now. So I think to depopulate the black race,
the country that is a burden to the rest of the world.
So that's why I was saying that the logic there. It's not about increase in population, but decrease, so that what they have in their coffers can go around and make the world a better place. I think that is the logic.
Yes, because you see, there are certain statements that are coming that some humans are born to be a burden on others. So when you listen to such statements, why we are equally born equal?
Well,
but they are making such statements.
So it's a big contradiction.
It is
a very big one. Yes, you are listening to Ground Zero on Invicta 98.9 FM. We'll take some messages, and when we come back, we'll start on our second topic, which promises to be very, very hot and interesting.
We are the station that all the stations listen to. Invicta 98.9 FM.
Alright, welcome back from that commercial timeout. You're still listening to Ground Zero right here on Invicta 98.9 FM. And it's about time we talk about the reaction that is trailing the statement or message of Reverend Father Matthew Kukah, the Christmas message to the president, and the reaction that is trailing it. Okay, let's come straight to talking about, first of all, the message where Reverend Father Matthew Kukah is criticizing Buhari, saying that he is nepotistic in his appointment and outlook, and he is entrenching and making nepotism a way of life in government. That's turning nepotism into a state policy. First of all, would that be a fair comment on the part of Reverend Father Matthew Kukah on the president, Eddie Ochidbo?
Thank you very much. I look at it through the prism of a journalist, because I'm not trained to take side whatsoever, to be objective on how I look at things. Let me go back, memory lane a bit about the man Kukah, that is embroiled in all this controversy. It's someone that, to me, has stood the test of time. It's a columnist with the New Nigerian then, when we would even think that we'd be journalists then. The mustard seed. He wrote some very, very strong decisions, and he's been a strong force, in terms of Nigeria's building blocks of Nigeria, and he's been very, very frank about it. And let me just now take you back to 2006, when I actually knew who the man Kuka was.
Okay.
That time we were producing the tabloid called the Public Agenda, and there was something that was very, very strong that we needed his comment, because it's a strong national, burning national issue. And that time it was just in St. Andrews. They were saying he was secretary or whatever. When we read that, the humility, it's a Roman parlor kind of this. In St. Andrews, say Makera Kaduda. Where he was staying. So it's not very simple. And I was shocked that this man of magnanimity that is talked with is living in this kind of small, with a little cook and that kind of a thing. So I have looked at him as somebody who is very humble and honest in terms of his analysis.
Okay.
And that is not to say that he is perfect or whatever, but he has mean well for this country. So that statement about coup or no coup is a very, very dangerous dimension that we are taking. Because I look at it as a hypothetical statement from Kuka. But those who want to win the favor of the administration and all this now have said that he was calling for coup. The man who is co-chairing the peace committee, for instance, to call for a coup, and bearing in mind that Nigeria is the head boy of the sub-African region when you talk of democracy. Coup is no longer fashionable. Coup is no longer, attractive. So to begin to blow that trumpet is to divert our attention from the serious national challenges, security challenges facing us. So I think that they should, mitigate it. Whether it's wrong for Kuka to call for coup, or as they have called it now, or the people who are saying that he should be arrested. These are very, very unnecessary things for us to think about now, as far as I'm concerned. And I'm entitled to my opinion.
Okay, Eddie, I would like to let us look at this statement in context and really try to analyze whether he was calling for it or imagining. I just want to read through here. He had said that there could have been a coup if a non-northern Muslim president had done a fraction of what Buhari did. Was he calling for coup?
That was why I used the word hypothetical.
Okay.
I said it was very hypothetical. It was hypothesis. Not really. If you go to he was just trying to say, if this is that, this thing does not mean he's calling for. It's hypothetical. And when you take a hypothetical statement to mean that to make it look as real, is something that is appearing real, which is not real.
Okay,
it's wrong.
Let's come to the pro-democracy activists that we have here. President of the Campaign for Democracy, Bako Abdul Usman. Looking at this statement coming from Reverend Father Matthew Kuka, and the reactions that is coming from every quarter, both for and against, shows that indeed there is something at stake. Because if it was a non-issue, nobody will even react. With this reaction coming from both ends of the divide, do you see it as something that's good for our democracy first? Then you now tell us your take on the comment from him.
Let me say categorically clear today that we are not practicing democracy. Already the seat is there, and the seat that is being saddled by the president today has clearly shown that we are into civil rule or military dictatorship. So even saying Bishop Kuka called for a coup has not arisen. Already the tenets of democracy are being abused. The principles of democracy are not there. The core values of an ideal democracy, we are not finding it. So saying he called for a coup is an understatement. That is to say that he don't even know where we are headed to. For me, because if a sitting president would say he will not honor the invitation of the only arm that made up democracy, the legislative arm of government, then what are we saying? Look into the messages that Bishop Kukah, he has been saying this over time. In February, when a seminarian died in Kaduna here, Michael, I remember, was murdered. He said it, that what is happening in this country is so alarming and is uncalled for. When the Sultan came out to say, okay, things are not going well security-wise with our country, where were the so-called people who are now saying Bishop Kukah has said it wrong, has gotten it wrong, has said this, has said that? Where were they? Or are we not in a secular state that everybody has right to his religion? Everybody has right to his religion. So why is it that okay, it is now Bishop Kukah, or is the message coming within the Utah period that is creating fear, or what is it? He has been saying it, and consistently he has been saying it, and he's on the right track. It's what he has said. Who can come up and say it's not like that? It is clear, crystal clear, that things are happening, they are going in the negative, and we are still pretending all is well. It's wrong.
All right, you're listening to Ground Zero on Invicta 98.9 FM, and we are looking at a reaction that is trailing the message of Reverend Father Matthew Kukah in respect a message directed at the presidency of Buhari, as the case may be now, and reaction that is trailing it, and of course the different groups that are coming out to react and talk about it now. We have looked at how it rubs up with us, and Abdul has already dwelled with some of the background on why a statement like that is coming from Reverend Father Matthew Kukah. Now, what I am looking at now is that the reaction, why is it that we do not have one common front to react to Reverend Father Matthew Kukah? Because if you look at the different reaction, the minister is, the comment from the minister can be said to be a veiled threat. Comment from the aide to the president on social media, that's Loretta Onoche, can be seen as a veiled insult, if one can put it that way, because she specifically tweeted that they have met more than once. So what's the problem? Babano they drop. That's president is not giving Reverend Father Matthew Kukah money again. That's one. He is rebuilding the nation battered by greed, political and religious favors. Buying the support of traditional religious and political leaders is no longer on the table. Rebuilding our nation is the main focus. That's from Loretta Onoche. While the Arewa Consultative Forum is calling for the outright arrest of Matthew Kukah, and of course this other one coming from Professor Ishak Akinyola is also condemning and saying that Matthew Kukah told a lie. That's for those that are against. Why those that are in support of? Well, my concern here is that why can't we have a common ground where everybody would see all of this in its true light? That's one. Then secondly, if this as it were is a statement coming on the table, why can't Nigerians sit down to discuss and talk about these things? Eddie.
Thank you very much. You know, we are faced with a very, very difficult situation of what we call between the devil and the deep blue sea. You know, that's how, you know, the citizenry in this country today are faced. We are just between the devil and the deep blue sea. And anything, any straw that you can hold as you are sinking, you just hold it to create that tension, diversion, and the rest of them. You know, I still insist that those who are, lighting up the flame so that there will be more confusion are not even helping the federal government.
Yeah.
Because the federal government is actually swamped with all kinds of issues, economy, insecurity, and all these things. So these people who do this, they benefit from it. The buyer, because now they want to get money and do all kinds of things. Rather than say, come, let's face it, Kuka may have made his own statement. That statement was made in bad faith. Let's forget it. Let's face the
content of the message.
The content of the message. Did he say anything that is totally wrong, or apart from the fact that he, subtly mentioned coup and the rest of them? All the other things, let us analyze it. Was he making any sense?
Because as it stands, people are only looking at that word coup.
But what he said, nobody wants to talk about it.
Yeah.
And that is why I say that even though Kuka's statement was what I say hypothetical, people want to turn it around and create that impression that is a bad clergyman who is seeking for how to divide this country. And I was talking about coup. I grew up, in war. Right between I was 10 when the war finished, because for that 30 months I saw everything, children eating lizard and all these things. I was in the military. I remember my dad was in the military, so I was in the barracks. But I saw victims. So people don't know that this coup they are talking about can lead to war. It's not all coup that is just free. You can do coup, then the whole thing will scatter. It will affect not only the section, any side, everybody will be affected.
Everybody.
So the issue of coup should be de-emphasized. And let us talk about how to address the
content of the message.
The content of the message and the insecurity, the worsening insecurity in the country. Because I still insist that what happened, the statement being made by those who say no, this and that, is just like false evidence appearing real. It's just fear. False evidence appearing. The acronym is fear. False evidence appearing real.
Okay, Abdul Bako, before you react to that too, I would want you to also I want to put you in a position, if you were Lai Mohammed or the presidential spokesperson, how would you have handled these comments coming from Reverend Father Matthew Kuka, or how would you have advised that it should be handled?
You see, if I were supposed to be the information minister, first I would tread with caution, because looking at the antecedents of coup in this country, coup came in through mostly the Christian, the Muslim military men, the northerners. So I would have looked into that antecedent first, then I would have drawn a line to say that, okay, my principle, this is what is happening. And again, looking at the keeping the service chiefs, keeping the service chiefs who are from predominantly the northern part of this country. I'm a northerner. Let's call a spade a spade. Keeping them clearly shows that if it were supposed to be a Christian on the throne, something of that nature would have arisen. There's no doubt about it. Let's not hide the fact that this message is coming from a non-Muslim, and we should color it black, having seen that it's clearly white and it's crystal clear, everybody can see it. So for me, I would have advised the president that, okay, things are going wrong, and we should reject the system and bring in new, fresh people. Look at the issue of the service chiefs, the issue of the police,
commissioner appointments,
the commissioner, the promotions and what have you. Now, even in the police now, there are moves that are saying that, okay, the next highly rank that is supposed to be is a Christian that would have been the IG, but they are trying to equally and tweaks a lot of things to make things happen. So what are we saying? The federal character is there for us to abide by. But look at the appointments we are having. Things are not going well. We should be bold enough to tell ourselves the simple truth.
Yes, you're listening to Ground Zero on Invicta 98.9 FM. It's about time we take some calls. 081400989 and 07087800989. All the lines are buzzing red hot. Let's find out who our first caller is going to be this evening. Hello, good evening. Welcome to Ground Zero.
Hello, good evening, Mr. Is.
Good evening. You're welcome to the program. What's your name?
I greet your guest in the studio. My name is Musa Bala.
Musa Bala, you're welcome.
Let me restrict myself to Kuka's statement. You see, let us try to educate the public very well. The current services are not all northerners. Two are northerners, two are southerners, plus the other guy. And whatever Kuka is accusing this government of, whatever, is she in the right position to even mention the word coup? Statistics have proved to him that previous government have done worse than that. I'll give you an example. During Jonathan, federal government policies were not only announced in the church, but on Sunday service on Christmas. Did anybody call for a coup? Camp President relocated to Aso Rock, living side by side with the Nigerian President Republic of Nigeria. Did anybody call a coup? There was a time when the entire service chiefs of this country were not only Southerners, they were all Christians. Did anybody call for a coup? What is the work of the National Assembly? And even if somebody was calling for a coup, must it come from a clergyman that is representing a religion? Can't he leave that to the opposition? Or is he representing them? For God's sake, what we are saying is that this country is for everybody. Don't monopolize it. If you are not a politician, we know how sensitive religions are. I wanted not to even talk about it because it is part of a religious leader. But that religious leader himself doubled himself into politics. Is that the best way to do it? What is the work of the National Assembly, no matter the offense of the president? Are they not there to impeach him? The current president of the United States of America, who have not even acknowledged the election of America, did anybody call for a coup? Please,
okay,
we should be telling these people the truth.
Musa Bala, like we were saying earlier, hypothetically speaking, from the statement he made, he said if it were someone from so place, there might have been a coup. Is that a call for a coup?
I was asking check in Rami, we come again Rami.
No, pass a right for me. I want to. That outside is too deep for me. Pass a right.
If there is no right, for example, if there is no petrol in the road, why are you mentioning petrol? Is he planning for one, or has he been expecting one through MSAS? Kuka should not be arrested. Kuka should be allowed, because arresting Kuka, what they will get what they want. They will start crisis in the country and probably either destroy the government or bring a lot of crisis. Let Kuka go ahead and say whatever you want to say. But he should remember that history will continue to judge whoever by what he do and what he said. And I want to use this opportunity to call on the religious leader in all our religion to please either mind their words or let them keep quiet. There is no how. There is no how. In fact, there is no how you can read. One cannot read meaning to it as coming from somebody of Kuka status in a Catholic church in Nigeria. May God continue to bless us with good leaders, no matter their religion and tribe, and may God continue to distance us from corrupt leaders and their agents wherever they are.
All right,
God bless Nigeria. God bless everybody. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you. Hello. Good evening. Welcome to Ground Zero.
Hello, Effie.
Good evening. What's your name and where are you calling us from? Say again.
My name is Paulo.
All right, from Malali.
Yes, from Malali.
All right, quickly, let's have your take in 30 seconds.
Yes. Let me just restrict myself on the comment of Kuka. Kuka is an individual, and he is a leader, and he is entitled to his own opinion as any other person in this country. Because in the past, we have seen where many people made a lot of comments and nobody even come out that time to say anything.
All right. All right, Pius. Hello, good evening. Welcome to Ground Zero. Oh, we lost that call. 081400989 and 07087800989 are the numbers to dial to add your voice to our conversation. Hello, good evening. Welcome to Ground Zero. The calls are coming in and keep bouncing off as soon as I am picking them up, and so many calls are lined up. Okay, while we are waiting for more calls to come in, we will quickly look at our Facebook page. Okay, let's see if we can take this call. Hello, good evening. Welcome to Ground Zero.
Good evening, Mr.
Good evening. You are welcome to the program. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
My name is Fidelis. I'm calling from Kaduna, sir.
All right, Fidelis, let's have your take.
The issue of Bishop Kuka. The only problem we are having in Nigeria is the truth. Without telling the truth, we will continue to suffer in this country.
Okay.
Hello?
Go ahead.
That's what I'm just trying to understand on this issue.
Okay.
Without the truth, we will continue to suffer in this country. Because just some few months, some few weeks back, over 40 people were being killed. Am I right or wrong? In Borno. With so many kidnapping, killing here and there. There was a time the Sultan of Sokoto said something is going on in the north. Let's go back to our former president, Olusegun Obasanjo. There was a time he was saying that as if they were trying to Fulanize or Islamize Nigeria. Nobody said anything, but they didn't even say anything pertaining that. I don't know if I'm communicating, sir.
We are listening.
Please, sir. The only solution in Nigeria will be truth.
Okay.
If we continue to speak out the truth, everything will work out fine in this country, be it from Christians or Muslims.
Okay.
That's what we need in life.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay. The watch party is on. So many people are joining, and also I think from our records, Bishop Kuka has joined this conversation now, watching the video of what's happening. Let's take this call. Hello. Good evening. Welcome to Ground Zero.
Good evening.
Good evening. You are welcome to the program. Can you, in 30 seconds, quickly, let's have your take?
Yes. My name is Kenny Ashaka.
All right. Kenny Ashaka. Kenny Ashaka. Let's have your take. I wish I can give you more.
Where you I am trying to join this your program. I've been listening to Musa Bana for a very long time.
Yeah.
But
hello, Kenny.
if you tell me for somebody, can you hear me?
Yes, go on, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go on.
I said I had to join this program because of the lies that Musa Bala told.
No, don't say somebody told a lie. Just give us your own perspective, please.
The truth of the matter is that we made a mission to camp president when Jonathan was in power, and that if his house was even next to Jonathan, that's wrong. That is not true. That is far from the truth. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you, the 30th member of Jonathan at that time was given to him by the Sultan of Sokoto. You can quote me.
Okay.
You understand? Because I was the special assistant media and public affairs to come at that time.
Yes.
Okay.
So I know what went on.
Yes.
You know, so all these things we don't pay anybody. This is just what I want to reply to. Nothing more than that.
All right.
So people like Musa Bala should learn to speak the truth. It's not enough to gather, go and gather wild discussion,
Kenny, thank you so much. But meanwhile, are you back to Kaduna?
What?
Are you back to Kaduna? Because we really need
yes,
to.
I'm in Kaduna.
All right.
I'm in Kaduna.
Ango Bali is sending his regards and he's going to hook up with you soon.
Same here.
And also, I'll be back. In fact, the host. Wow, Kenny, we really need to hook up. We really need to hook up. After the program, I'll call you.
I will look for a number.
All right.
I don't know how you can get
I cannot take the number because it's a system that is picking up the calls. But we'll get your number. Your number is not one that can be hidden. Thank you so much, Kenny. All right. I guess it's about the size of the program because we are really running out of time and we need to end the program now. But before we go, I would like to get parting shots from Eddie Ochibo.
Thank you very much. I think I will align myself with one of the callers who talked about truth and sincerity. You know, that what is missing in countries that we have not been able to tell ourselves the truth, the home truth, and that if we are able to tell ourselves home truths and face the reality, we will not be facing the quagmire that we have found ourselves in today. All right.
Before Abdul Bako, there is a comment that came in on our social media page from Abbas Dangwa. He said Africa's enemy is not Bill Gates or philanthropist, but calls are coming in and just bouncing it up. Africa's enemy is a citizen who is unable to open to learning and draw from calls are not allowing me to read this, and he is saying that
the opportunities.
Bishop Kuka may have only stated the obvious to the chagrin of people who are cool at playing ostrich in a situation when the jungle is on fire. But meanwhile, all of these comments are on our Facebook page. Go to Invista FM Kaduna and you'll see all of these comments. Read the comments, reflect on them, and let us continue the conversation even there. Now, Bako Abdul Usman, your parting shot.
Yes, my parting shot. Those within the corridors of powers and politicians should stop causing more harm than good for this country, please.
All right, I am Ehis Adon. Next Saturday, that's next year, first Saturday of next year, when we'll be on with another package of the program. We'll do a review of 2020 and hoping that we'll be able to make sense out of it. Until then, when we'll see again, like always, I'll say this to you. Whatever your labors and aspirations in this noisy confusion of life, you should learn how to keep peace with your soul, with all its charm, drudgery, and broken dreams. It's a beautiful world that we live in. Be careful. Strive to be happy. Before you claim right of way, make sure you are safe and not sorry. I'm Ehis Adon, the peacemaker with a passion for crowd satisfaction.